In the trial which starts today in the Fulchester Crown Court, the defendant, Dr. Paul Napier, faces a charge of living wholly or in part on the earnings of a prostitute. The prosecution has called its first witness, Detective Sergeant Ralph McCovey.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Detective Sergeant Ralph McCovey, Fulchester CID, my lord.
Detective Sergeant McCovey, how long have you been with the Fulchester Police Force?
11 years.
So you've been in the police force since you were 18?
That's correct.
Now, Sergeant, are you the officer who's been in charge of the investigations leading up to this case?
I am.
Now, will you tell us when you first became involved in these investigations?
May I consult my notebook, my lord?
Well, now, Miss Tate...
my lord, if I may assist, I have seen a copy of the notes. I've no objection.
Thank you, Miss Tate. Yes, Sergeant.
Thank you, my lord. As a result of information received, I kept watch on certain premises in Motcombe Road, Fulchester, the basement flat at number 36.
When did you keep watch, Sergeant?
On May the 16th, 17th and 18th, between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. each day.
And what, if anything, did you observe?
On the 16th, I saw 4 men go to the door of the basement.
One moment, please. 4 men, together or by themselves?
By themselves. Each one went to the flat, and rang the bell, the door opened, they went inside, stayed about half an hour.
Yes, and on the 17th?
There were 3 such visitors.
And on the 18th?
7, sir.
And on each occasion, the pattern more or less repeated itself, a visit of about half an hour?
Well, there were some who stayed longer. The longest was about an hour and a half.
And did you keep any further watch?
No, sir.
Now, did you observe something else at about the same time?
Yes, it was about this time that my attention was drawn to an advertisement in a newsagent's window.
You went to the shop yourself to inspect it?
Yes.
Will you describe the advertisement?
Yes, it was on a card, about the same size as a postcard, placed horizontally. On the left side was a photo of a young woman, head and shoulders facing front. On the right side was the text of the advertisement, which read, "What your stars foretell. Have your chart drawn up. Miss Virgo will reveal all."
Miss who will reveal all?
Miss Virgo, my lord, one of the signs of the zodiac.
Yes, I'm well aware of that. As a matter of fact, it happens to be my... Yes, well, who was it who drew your attention to this advertisement?
One of the constables on the beat in that area, my lord.
I see. Yes.
Was there anything else on the card?
Anything else? Oh, yes, the phone number, and the words "ring for appointment," followed by the telephone number.
May the sergeant be shown Exhibit 1, please? Is that the advertisement?
Yes.
Yes, Sergeant, I'm not quite clear what connection there is between this advertisement and the house that you had under surveillance.
Well, there was no direct connection, my lord, until I rang the number.
I see. When did you do that?
The 20th, May the 20th, my lord.
To whom did you speak, Sergeant, when you telephoned that number?
A woman. I asked to speak to Miss Virgo. She said she was Miss Virgo. I said I was ringing about the advert in the newsagent's window. She asked if I wanted to make an appointment. I said yes, I did. She said she could give me one the following day at 3 o'clock. I said that would be all right. I then asked what the fee would be, and she said that would depend.
You asked her how much it was going to cost, and Miss Virgo then said that would depend.
Yes, she said the initial consultation was £5.
Now, what did you infer by that?
Well, I inferred that there might be extras.
Extras, yes. Did Miss Virgo then give you her address?
Yes, she said it was the basement flat at number 36 Motcombe Road, the entrance being at the side of the house.
And this was the house upon which you had been keeping watch?
That's correct, my lord.
You kept the appointment?
Yes.
Will you describe what took place?
Well, she took my coat and I sat
One moment, please. Miss Virgo took your coat?
Yes. Well, the flat was warm. In fact, it was overheated. I sat on a sofa and Miss Virgo sat at a desk. She asked me questions concerning my birthday, the date, the time. Oh, yes, first she asked if I'd ever had an astrology reading before. I said no. And she asked if I was genuinely interested in astrology or if I'd just come out of curiosity. I said I was genuinely interested. She then interpreted my stars, what planets were in the ascendancy, what was in store for me in the near future in the way of good luck, bad news, etc. After which, she asked if I wanted her to compile my zodiac chart. I asked what that entailed. She said it would take a few days to do. I'd have to come back for it the following week. It would cost £10. I said...
Now, was that £10 over and above the £5 for the initial reading?
Yes. I said I would think about that. She said I could give her a ring if I decided to have it done. She then asked for the £5.
And you gave it to her?
Not right away. I then said, is that all? And she said, how do you mean? I said, well, do I go now? And she said, what did you expect? I said, I'm not sure, really. She then got up from behind the desk and came over and sat on the sofa. And she said...
She got up and came over and sat next to you on the sofa?
Yes. She said, do you want...
Close to you?
Quite close. She said, do you want to stay a bit longer? I said, I wouldn't mind. She said, you haven't come here for sex, have you? I said, I wouldn't say no. She said, why? I said, well, you've got a smashing figure for a start.
You said you've got a smashing figure for a start?
Yes, I said that, yes.
Why, Sergeant? How much of her figure had you seen?
Well, she was wearing a tight-fitting sweater and a short skirt.
Was she? Please go on, Sergeant.
She said, I'm not a whore, you know. I said, I'm sure you're not. She said, if you want to stay longer, I'll have to ask you to pay for the chart being drawn up, which is £10, and to sign this form.
So Miss Virgo then said, if you want to stay longer, I'll have to ask you to pay for the chart being drawn up, which is £10, and to sign this form.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Then what?
She got up and went back to the desk to get a printed form, which she gave to me. At this moment, the baby started to cry.
The baby started to cry?
Yes, my lord.
Well, where? Where was the baby?
In the next room, my lord. Miss Virgo said, oh, excuse me, I'll be back in a minute, and then she went into the next room.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do, Sergeant?
Oh, I read the form she'd given me. It said that the fee of £15 was for consultation, astroanalysis, and zodiac chart, with a space below for the date and signature.
Did you sign it?
No, I dropped it on the desk together with a £5 note and left the flat.
Will you describe the room in which you were entertained?
Well, it was sort of cosy and feminine with subdued lighting.
Subdued lighting. This was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, wasn't it?
Yes, but the curtains were closed.
The curtains were closed at 3 in the afternoon, and the room was in subdued lighting.
Yes, and then there was a bed in the corner.
Then there was the bed. Where was the bed?
In a corner of the room, with a red satin bedspread on it.
A red satin bedspread. Red satin. What did you do next, Sergeant?
My next move was on the following day, May the 21st. I called at number 36 Motcombe Road to see Dr. Paul Napier, whom I had ascertained was the owner of the house. He lived on the ground floor.
Perhaps you'd better describe the general layout of the house.
Yes, it was divided into 4 flats, one on each floor. Dr. Napier himself lived on the ground floor, and there were 2 upstairs, and there was a flat in the basement.
Were the 2 flats upstairs also occupied?
Yes.
And did you then call on Dr. Napier?
Yes, it was 10 a.m. The accused answered the door. I identified myself, and I said right out that I had reason to believe that the basement flat was being used for the purposes of prostitution.
And what was his reaction?
He denied it. He said he knew the young lady personally, and he was quite sure...
Excuse me, he said he knew the young lady personally?
Yes, and he was quite sure she was not a prostitute. I said, are you aware that the flat is being used for business purposes? He said, yes. I understand that it is being used for astrology readings. I said, I have reason to believe it is being used for more than that. I then asked what rent was being paid for the basement flat, and he said £50.
£50? A month?
No, my lord. I said a month, and he said no, a week, my lord.
Well, furnished or unfurnished?
Furnished, my lord.
Well, how large was the flat?
2 rooms, kitchen and bath, my lord.
Well, do you know what was the rent of the other flats in the same building?
Yes, my lord. I said, who is the tenant of the top floor? He said, Mr. Roberts. I said, what is his rent?
Yes.
And he said, £8 per week. I said, who is the tenant of the first floor? And he said, Mr. and Mrs. Hurst. I asked what the rent was, and he said £9 per week, my lord.
Were the flats upstairs about the same size as the one in the basement?
Just about, yes.
And were they also furnished?
Yes.
So let's get this quite clear, Sergeant. The rent that the accused admitted he was charging for the basement flat was virtually 3 times the amount he was charging for the other 2 flats put together.
That's correct. I pointed this out to Dr. Napier, and he said he was quite capable of doing that sum himself. I asked him if he was aware that it was an offence to live wholly or in part on the immoral earnings of a prostitute, and he said he was well aware of it, but he was doing no such thing. I then terminated the interview.
How many interviews did you have with the accused?
4, including the last one when I cautioned and arrested him. I saw him on the May the 21st and the 9th, 17th and 25th of June. On both the 9th and the 17th of June, I made it clear to him that the police would be satisfied and no further action taken if he would only evict Miss Virgo from the basement flat.
Was he in a position to do so?
Oh, yes, it being a furnished tenancy on a weekly basis and not being protected by the Rent Acts.
But he was not interested in doing so. He was quite satisfied with the situation the way it was.
Oh, he was more than satisfied. Oh, he was laughing. Well, he'd got a little gold mine down there in the basement.
Detective Sergeant McCovey, throughout your evidence you have referred to the tenant of the basement flat as Miss Virgo. But that is not her name, as you are well aware.
Well, that's her professional name, and this case is to do with her professional activities.
Well, what is the name of the tenant of the basement flat at 36 Motcombe Road?
Mary Heppel.
Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Thank you. Mrs. Mary Heppel, and that is the name to which I will refer to her by. And that is the name under which she will appear as a witness for the defense. Now, Sergeant McCovey, you have described that during a 6-week period in May and June of this year, you had 4 interviews with the defendant, Dr. Paul Napier.
That's correct.
You also described 1 meeting you had with Mrs. Heppel, and that was the occasion when, posing as a client, you went to her basement flat for an astrology reading. Now, we'll come back to that meeting in a moment, but first I want to ask you if you had any other meetings with Mrs. Heppel.
Yes.
How many?
2.
And when did they take place?
In June.
Before or after the defendant was charged with this offence?
Once before and once after.
Well, you didn't mention those meetings with Mrs. Heppel in your evidence in chief.
I wasn't asked about them.
Quite so. My learned friend chose not to ask you. Perhaps you'd tell us something about them.
Well, I went to see Miss Virgo, Mrs. Heppel, accompanied by a woman police officer. And I told her that we had reason to believe she was using the basement flat for the purposes of prostitution, as a result of which there were charges pending against a landlord, Dr. Napier.
And did she recognize you from the time you'd come to have your stars read?
Yes.
What was her reaction?
Not much. It didn't seem to bother her.
She wasn't angry at the trick that you played on her?
No, she was amused, or pretended to be.
What else did you speak to her about?
Oh, I told her that I believed the whole astrology thing to be just a front, a cover-up for being on a bash.
On the bash, my lord,
Yes,
meaning...
yes, Miss Tate, I know all about being on the bash. That is to say, Mr. Lotterby, I understand what the phrase means. Now, Sergeant, how did Mrs. Heppel react to your accusation?
Well, she denied it, my lord. She said I was being very insulting. She said she wouldn't dream of taking a penny for sex.
She said she wouldn't take a penny for sex.
Yeah. Well, I told her to come off it, and that the best thing she could do was to stop putting on a show and cooperate.
Well, what did you mean by cooperate?
I meant, well, I told her that it would be to her advantage to just admit to what she'd been doing, and that if she did, she wasn't letting herself in for anything.
How so, letting herself in for anything?
Well, that there's no question of her facing any charge, that's all.
Yes, I see that, but how was she to cooperate?
Well, to stop all the pretense and tell the truth.
To tell the truth where and when?
I don't get you.
Well, don't you? Wasn't the purpose of your last 2 visits to her to make her become a witness for the prosecution?
I did suggest that to her, yeah.
You did more than suggest it, Sergeant. You tried to coerce her into doing so.
There was no coercion.
No pressure?
How do you mean, pressure?
Well, did you not say to Mrs. Heppel that once she was tabbed as a working prostitute, life could be made very difficult for her?
No, I didn't say...
And did you not tell her that she would be in a very vulnerable position with the police breathing down her neck from then on?
I didn't say that.
And did you not warn her about the child welfare authorities who may consider her an unfit parent and as a result take her daughter away from her and put her in a home?
Really, my lord, the witness must be allowed to answer the question.
Yes. Yes, Sergeant.
I did not bring improper pressure to bear to get the girl to testify against Napier. I did no such thing. That's not why I said those things to her.
Oh, but you do admit saying those things to her.
Well, not quite the way you put it, but something along those lines, yeah. I was just trying to warn her. to give her an idea of what she was letting herself in for, doing what she was doing.
Doing what?
Working as a prostitute.
Well, there's no law against it, is there?
What?
I say there's no law against working as a prostitute.
Well, it's against the law to solicit in
We're
the
not
street
talking
or to...
about that. I'm asking you, is it illegal or criminal to be a prostitute?
Well, as the law stands, not strictly,
You
no.
keep hedging, Sergeant McCovey. Now, you've been in the police force for 11 years. Will you please give me a yes or no answer? Is it against the law to be a prostitute?
No.
Thank you. Then what were you doing, giving Mrs. Heppel all these dire warnings? If she wasn't breaking the law, was it just for humanitarian reasons, out of the goodness of your heart?
Something like that, yes.
Trying to warn a young woman about the dangers and pitfalls of prostitution. Well, why? Why should you bother?
She was just a kid and I rather liked her.
Oh, you liked her, did you?
And there was a child, a baby involved.
I see. So you visited her twice?
Accompanied by a woman police officer, yes.
Oh, yes, so you said. You visited her twice just to give her these warnings out of a friendly feeling and nothing whatsoever to do with intimidating her or telling her that it would be to her advantage to testify at this trial against the defendant?
Nothing whatever to do with that.
I see. Well, let me say here and now that we do not concede for one moment that Mrs. Heppel was or is a working prostitute. Well, let's go back to that first meeting you had with Mrs. Heppel, when you went to have your stars read. Did she give you a satisfactory astrology reading?
I suppose so, yes.
Well, I mean, she appeared to know what she was talking about, did she?
Yes.
How long a session was it? About half an hour?
About 20 minutes.
So for about 20 minutes, she discussed in some detail your planetary influences, your birth sign, and gave you some idea of your future in various ways.
Yes.
And the fee for this, you said, was £5. Now, did that seem fair enough?
Yes, but...
Yes, we're coming to that but. You thought that if you stayed around long enough and paid a little more money, some sort of sex might be available. You had very little to go on, just an impression. The cosy atmosphere, the bed in the corner of the room, the short skirt the young lady was wearing. Perhaps it was not so much an impression as wishful thinking.
No, it was more than that. Well, she said to me, well, she asked me if I wanted sex.
Oh, no, Sergeant McCovey. She did not ask you if you wanted sex. She said, and you yourself read it from your notebook, she said, you haven't come here for sex, have you? Now, isn't that right?
Same difference.
Not at all. I don't construe that as an invitation to have sex, and I'm sure the jury don't either. And I put it to you that there is nothing whatsoever in your entire testimony that directly implicates Mrs. Heppel in offering sex for money.
Is there something you wish to add, Sergeant?
Well, my lord, only that I know it come on when I see it.
I see. You wish to re-examine Mr. Lotterby? Thank you, Sergeant. You may leave the witness box.
I call Vernon Cox.
Vernon Cox, please.
What is your religion?
I'm a yogi, really.
Yoga is not a religion. Do you wish to take the oath?
Yeah, might as well.
Take the Bible in your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Vernon Henry Cox. You live at number 46 Cranley Court, Hall Road, Fulchester.
Absolutely right.
How old are you, Mr. Cox?
27.
And what is your occupation?
I'm in insurance.
Yes. When you say that you're in insurance, Mr. Cox, what precisely does that mean?
I sell it, all kinds.
Thank you.
Life, endowment,
Yes.
house, fire, theft.
Yes.
Mr. Cox, do you know the accused, Paul Napier?
Him over there?
Yes. Have you ever seen him before?
No, never had the pleasure.
Have you ever visited number 36 Motcombe Road, Fulchester?
36. Oh, the basement flat, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Whom did you visit there?
Well, you know.
Oh, Mr. Cox, I'm asking you to tell the court whom you visited at that address.
Miss Virgo, bless her.
In what circumstances did you visit her?
Well, it was a rainy Thursday afternoon, and
No, I mean, how did you happen to go there?
I'm in Mini Cooper.
How did you get that address, Mr. Cox? What prompted you to go there?
Oh, well, you see, I got a tip from a mate of mine.
A friend recommended Miss Virgo to you?
Yes.
And what did he do? Give you her phone number?
Well, he couldn't remember the phone number, but he told me where the advert was.
So you went to the newsagents, got the phone number from the advert?
Yes.
Mr. Cox, presumably there were other advertisements in the newsagent's window?
Oh, yes, my lord. Quite a few.
How did you know which one to look for?
Well, Miss Virgo reveals all. That's what my mate said to look for.
And what did you think that meant?
Well, it was obvious, wasn't it?
Was it? You didn't think it meant that Miss Virgo would reveal what the stars foretell?
That never occurred to me, my lord.
Now, when exactly was this?
Well, like I said, a rainy Thursday afternoon, sometime in June.
Did you pay her any money?
Yes, I paid her £5 to have my stars read. And £10 for the other.
Well, perhaps you could describe in more detail what you mean by the other.
Well, no, I wouldn't describe it. That wouldn't be right. But after having my stars read, you know, a lot of mumbo-jumbo about Jupiter this and Saturn that, and don't take any financial risk till the end of the month. And a big, tall blonde was about to come into my life.
Yes, yes.
Well, before you knew it, we were snogging on the sofa. The next thing was, bumps-a-daisy. We were hard at it on the bed.
The case of the Queen against Napier will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. Dr. Paul Napier is accused of living wholly or in part on the earnings of a prostitute. Two witnesses have testified that a young woman calling herself Miss Virgo was using the basement flat of Dr. Napier's house ostensibly to give astrology readings, but really for the purpose of prostitution.
Mr. Cox, you told my learned friend that you'd been to the basement flat on a rainy Thursday afternoon for an astrology reading, but do you recall the date?
The date? Not exactly.
Well, roughly. What month?
Well, June, I already said.
Yes, the beginning of June or the end of June?
Near the end.
Yes. And now the defendant, Dr. Paul Napier, was charged on June the 25th, so that your visit to Mrs. Heppel might have been a few days before that, might it?
Might have been, yes.
Yes. You said that the visit cost £15.
That's right.
What was the payment for?
Well, the lot. All inclusive.
No, let's be specific about it. Weren't you told that there was a fee of £5 for an initial consultation?
Yes.
And that if you wanted your zodiac chart drawing up, which would take several days to complete, there would be a further charge of £10?
Yes, that's what she said.
Well, how do you mean that's what she said?
Well, I didn't have a zodiac chart drawn up, did I?
But you didn't go back to collect it, did you?
No. But...
Then how do you know it wasn't drawn up?
Well, it was just a gimmick, wasn't it?
Not at all. If you pay for something and then you don't go and collect it, that's your lookout. Did you sign anything?
Oh, the little form, you mean?
Yes, you signed a form, did you?
Well, she asked me to, so I did.
And what name did you use?
Vernon Johnson.
I see. You signed Vernon Johnson instead of Vernon Cox.
Yes.
Would you show it to the witness, please? Is that your writing, even though it's not your signature?
Yes.
Perhaps this can be exhibited, my lord. It will be Exhibit 2.
Yeah.
And Mr. Cox, it is dated the 23rd of June, 1974, and it says, the fee of £15 was paid by the undersigned for astroanalysis and compilation of a zodiac chart, does it not?
Yes.
Mr. Cox, when you signed this form, had you already paid the money?
Yes, I paid the money, then she gave me the form.
Was this before or after intercourse took place?
Well, I think it was... Yes, it was before. I paid in advance.
I'm obliged, my lord. You paid in advance for the chart that was to be drawn up. The money had nothing whatsoever to do with any sex that might have taken place.
Oh, it had in a way.
In what way?
Well, it was a sweetener.
Well, that might be your interpretation that the money was a sweetener, but the fact remains that you signed a form to say that the payment was for something else. I assume as soon as you paid the money, you didn't fling yourselves into each other's arms.
Oh, no. We had a smoke and I chatted her up.
You chatted her up?
Absolutely.
What sort of chat?
Well, I told her that she was more fantastic looking than she even realised herself. Well, you can't go wrong with that one. And what gorgeous hair she'd got, and she said...
Yes?
Well, she said what gorgeous hair I'd got too.
Did she?
Yes, and I told her to knock it off because she was getting me at it. And she said, what's the matter? Are you sex-starved or something? And I said, well, aren't we all? And there we were.
Where were you?
Well, we'd got things warmed up on the sofa, so we got down to business on the bed.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we're all very grateful to you, Mr. Cox, for that graphic description. Now, perhaps, Miss Tate, we could pass on to some other point?
Yes, my lord. There's just one more thing I want to ask you, Mr. Cox. How is it that you happen to be here, appearing as a witness for the prosecution?
Ah, now, that's a long story.
Oh, no. Well, try to condense it, will you?
Yes, my lord. Well, when I came out of the...
When you came out of the basement flat after seeing Mrs. Heppel.
Yes, that's right. Well, I was walking towards my car, you know, the Mini Cooper, and, well, I saw two plainclothes policemen sitting in an unmarked car, and one of them leaned out the window and called me over. So I goes over, and he asked me where I'd been. Well, he knew where I'd been, because he was keeping tabs on the building. So he asked me how it was, and I told him.
You told the police officers everything that had happened?
Well, more or less, yes, but not right there in the road. Later on in the pub.
You went for drinks with them?
Well, with one of them, the one I knew.
Oh, you knew one of the police officers?
Well, yeah.
Do you mean that he knew you?
Well, we knew each other. Well, we used to play in the same team a few years back. Amateur football for Thorley Hill Rovers,
Yes,
and...
yes.
So it was at the pub that he asked you to testify at this trial?
Oh, no. No, it was a couple of days later when they came round to my home address.
I see. Well, that was most fortuitous for the police, because it might have been very difficult for them to find an independent witness willing to testify with such intimate details.
I don't know about that.
Thank you. No further questions.
Wish to re-examine, Mr. Lottery?
Yes, my lord, just one question. Mr. Cox, if you hadn't paid the £15, do you think that Miss Virgo would still have been so accommodating?
Accommodate? Oh, intercourse, you mean?
Yes.
Hell no. No lolly, no lovey.
No lolly, no lovey. I couldn't have put that more succinctly myself. Thank you, Mr. Cox.
You may leave the witness box, Mr. Cox.
That concludes the case for the prosecution, my lord.
My lord, I am calling Dr. Napier and one other witness. It would be inconvenient for the witness to appear tomorrow, so with your lordship's permission, I propose to call her before my client.
Mr. Lottery?
No objection, my lord.
Very well.
I call Mary Heppel, my lord.
Mary Heppel, please.
What is your religion?
I'm agnostic.
You wish to affirm?
Yes.
Please read aloud the words on this card.
I, Mary Heppel, do solemnly, sincerely and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Your name is Mary Heppel and you live at 36 Nottingham Road, Fulchester.
Yes.
How old are you?
20.
Are you married?
Yes.
Are you living with your husband?
No, we're separated, waiting for the divorce to come through.
How long did your marriage last before you separated?
Just over 6 months.
And then what happened?
My husband left.
He left?
Disappeared. Went to London, I believe.
Leaving you in what condition?
Broke and pregnant.
You've since had the baby?
Yes, I have a year-old daughter.
Who lives with you and whom you support?
Yes.
What is your occupation?
I'm an astrology consultant.
Have you had a training in astrology?
Yes, apart from extensive reading, I studied under Hermione Redfield.
Hermione Redfield, who writes under the name of Hermione in a Sunday newspaper?
Yes.
How much studying did you do with her?
A course of 8 lessons.
When was this?
August and September of 73.
Miss Redfield is a recognised expert in this field.
Oh, yes. Apart from her newspaper articles, she's been an astrology consultant for 25 years.
I see. My lord, I have here a statement signed by Miss Redfield, which I wish to put in under the Criminal Justice Act 1967. I have spoken to my learned friend about it, and he doesn't object.
Very well.
It reads, "To whom it may concern, this is to say that Mary Heppel has completed her course in astrology and is, in the opinion of the undersigned, qualified to be an astrology consultant."
I see this statement is dated only yesterday.
Yes, my lord.
So it wasn't written at the time that Mrs. Heppel completed her studies?
No, my lord. I had hoped that Miss Redfield would be here in court today as a witness, but as she is unable to be so, well, I obtained the statement from her.
Well, why isn't she attending?
Well, it's most unfortunate, my lord, but she telephoned my instructing solicitors from London to say that she was unable to travel today or yesterday because of unfavourable aspects.
Unable to travel because of what?
Well, I'm afraid I'm not too clear myself exactly what,
Would it be all right for me to explain?
Yes, Mrs. Heppel. Please explain if you can.
Well, Miss Redfield is a Sagittarian, you see, and Mars, Jupiter and Uranus were all... The planets, Mars, Jupiter,
Yes.
were all in bad aspect to each other. Since Mars is the planet affecting travel and Jupiter the ruler of her sign, and Uranus is the bringer of disruption, well, Miss Redfield would feel it dangerous to travel either yesterday or today.
Well, I've heard of some unusual reasons for people failing to attend my court, but never because of Mars, Jupiter and Uranus. Thank you, Mr. Lotterby, but it is not for us to scoff, and I take this opportunity of saying to the jury and to everyone present here in court that I don't want anything I may have said to be regarded as being disparaging of astrology. I know a great many people take it very seriously and believe in its influence upon their lives. Now, let the jury see this statement from Miss Redfield. Yes, Miss Tate?
My lord? How long have you been working professionally as an astrology consultant?
Just over a year.
And have you any idea how much you've earned in that time?
£5,455.
£5,455. That's over £100 a week. Have you filed an income tax return?
Yes, for the first 6 months up to last April.
May we have the form, please? Is that a copy?
Yes.
My lord, this will be Exhibit 4.
Yeah.
The copy of Mrs. Heppel's income tax return under Schedule D. Self-employed person with itemised deductions for self and one dependent. Use of the flat as an office and some other professional expenses. Oh, and the amount of tax paid by cheque.
Yes, Mrs. Heppel, did you complete this form yourself or did you have assistance?
It was done for me by an accountant.
Yes, I see that you haven't made a deduction of the fee charged by your accountant, which you're fully entitled to do.
He didn't charge me anything, my lord.
Oh, yes, I see.
And now your largest deduction was for rent, claiming half the total. I suppose that was on the basis of your using just one room of the flat as an office.
Yes.
Now, Mrs. Heppel, you are aware that the very substantial rent of £50 a week that you pay to your landlord, Dr. Napier, is possibly largely responsible for the present charges being brought against him.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
You're also aware that the very heart of the case against the defendant is the contention that your source of income is not what you claim it to be, and that it comes wholly or in part from prostitution, and therefore they are immoral earnings.
Yes.
Are you a prostitute?
No.
Do you sell yourself sexually for money?
No.
Has anyone ever given you cash or other reimbursement for having sex with them?
No.
Have you ever had sex with any of your clients?
Yes.
Frequently?
Occasionally.
Well, how often? With how many of your clients have you had sex?
About 20.
20 out of a total of how many?
Over 300.
So, out of more than 300 clients, you've had sex with about 20?
Yes.
Why? Why did you have sex with them?
Well, it just happened. I mean, I'd only do it if it was a spontaneous happening, if we both wanted it.
These men being complete strangers to you,
Yes.
you have no compunction about having sex with a complete stranger.
Well, I'd rather that than get involved with someone and have a relationship which ends in disaster.
Would you say that you particularly enjoy having sex with a stranger?
Right, stranger, yes. But sometimes I can't resist it. Oh, I thought I might have a problem. I did think of seeing someone about it, but I kept putting it off because, well, I enjoy it.
Mrs. Heppel, do you have any other pseudonym besides Miss Virgo?
No.
What made you choose that name?
Virgo is my birth sign.
It wasn't because the word has a slightly sexy connotation.
No.
Why use a false name for business at all? Why not use your real name?
Well, astrology has some mystique about it, and I thought that Miss Virgo would be more intriguing than Mrs. Heppel.
More intriguing or more enticing? Miss Virgo will reveal all. Now, that's the last line of these advertisements you placed in shop windows, isn't it?
Yes,
That sounds quite enticing, doesn't it?
perhaps it does.
Enticing and suggestive, I would think. Mrs. Heppel, I see that you appear in court wearing a demure, modest, rather conservative outfit. Certainly nothing enticing or suggestive about that. Is that the way you normally dress for work when entertaining your gentlemen clients in your cosy office with its subdued lighting and its red satin bed?
My lord, my friend is being less than learned if he thinks he can present a series of questions like that.
My lord, I'm only repeating what's already been described in earlier testimony.
Yes, Mr. Lotterby, I think you might put the questions without the embellishments.
Ah, very well, my lord. How do you dress for your work?
No particular way, whatever I happened to put on that morning.
One witness has testified that you wore a tight-fitting sweater and a short skirt. Would that be the sort of thing?
Well, sometimes, yes.
A negligee, perhaps?
No, certainly not. I don't even have a negligee.
Why is there a bed in your office?
Because I sleep there. There are only 2 rooms. My baby has the other room.
Is your baby in the next room when you're entertaining your clients?
My lord, I object to the repeated use of the word entertaining.
Is your baby in the next room when your clients visit you?
Not usually, no.
Where is she?
I leave her with a lady down the street who minds babies.
But sometimes the baby is in the next room.
Occasionally.
Now, you have admitted having sex with at least 20 of your clients.
Yes.
Now, how did you pick that figure? Have you kept a list? I mean, why 20? You sure it wasn't 30 or 50 or 100?
No, about 20.
You told the court you enjoy making love to these complete strangers.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you most certainly did, Mrs. Heppel. I have it here.
I never used the words making love.
Oh, well, let's not quibble about words, Mrs. Heppel. You enjoy letting these strangers use your body, do you?
They don't use my body any more than I use theirs.
Now, do you really expect us to believe, Mrs. Heppel, that the money paid to you by these 20 or so clients whom you've admitted having sex with was merely for having their stars read?
Yes.
Was the baby in the next room during any of these sexual activities?
Lord, what has that
Yes,
got to do
Miss
with
Dade,
this
I think,
case?
Mr. Lotterby, the question as to whether the baby was in the next room is immaterial. You've made your point. Let's leave it at that.
As you wish, my lord. Mrs. Heppel, do you ever have any women clients?
Yes.
Now, what proportion of your clientele is female?
Oh, about 1 in 10, I suppose.
So 90% of your clientele is male.
Yes.
Now, why do you suppose that is? Is it not because that is the whole object of the exercise? To attract male custom? Is it not that both your manner of advertising, the setup at your so-called office are designed to accomplish precisely that?
That's not what's intended, no.
Isn't it, Mrs. Heppel? It's from the men that the money flows. That is why your fees are so cleverly divided into 2 parts. Only £5 for the consultation, well, that's just to get them there, and then an extra £10 to have their chart drawn up. And the man is sitting there in the seductive atmosphere, his eyes glued to your barely concealed body, and if he wants to stay longer, he must pay the extra £10. So he pays up, naturally hoping he's going to get more than his horoscope.
No,
and
you're
they do get more than their horoscope, don't they, Mrs. Heppel? But either way, the whole procedure is a piece of chicanery, isn't it? A camouflage.
No, it isn't.
Come now, Mrs. Heppel or Miss Virgo or whatever you choose to call yourself. You know very well what line of business you're in, and that's why you've gone to such great lengths and cunning lengths to conceal the fact that you're just a common prostitute.
That's a lie.
My lord, that sort of attack on this
witness.
witness...
To her like that.
Dr. Napier, you must not interrupt.
My lord, he's treating her like a criminal. She's not even on trial.
You must not speak now. Miss Tate, please advise your client that any further interruption from the dock will result in his removal from the court.
I apologize for the interruption, my lord, but it does seem that what my learned friend lacks in evidence, he is making up for in bombast and insult.
That is for the jury to decide. Now, perhaps we can continue with your cross-examination, Mr. Lotterby, if you have any more questions for the witness.
Yes, indeed, my lord. What is the purpose of this printed form you get your clients to sign?
Exactly what it says. It's a receipt.
Why should you need a receipt saying that the money given to you was for astroanalysis, etc.? What else could it be for?
Why does anyone need a receipt?
Oh, that doesn't quite answer the question, does it? I suggest, Mrs. Heppel, that the reason you get your clients to sign these receipts is as a precaution against just such an eventuality as this, where it might be claimed that the services you are offering are not entirely on an astral plane.
Well, that's your interpretation.
Yes, it is, and it is the correct one, is it not?
No.
Have you ever had sex with the accused, Paul Napier? Did you not hear the question?
No.
You didn't hear the question?
No, I've never had sex with Dr. Napier.
What is your relationship with him?
We're on friendly terms.
A friendly landlord, is he? How often do you see each other?
Quite often.
Could you be more exact?
Oh, 2-3 times a week, perhaps.
His flat or yours?
At his, or we go out.
Yes, at the time the house was under surveillance, you were observed going out together. Where would you be going?
The cinema, a concert, perhaps.
Would that have been a pop or a classical concert?
Classical.
Has Dr. Napier encouraged you to be interested in more serious music?
Yes.
Who pays on these occasions when you go out together?
Well, we go Dutch.
You go Dutch? Oh, that's a very friendly arrangement. But has it ever occurred to you, Mrs. Heppel, that it's not exactly friendly of your landlord to charge you the exorbitant rent of £50 a week? You ever complain about it? Ever go to the rents tribunal about it?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't consider the rent exorbitant.
£50 a week for a 2-room basement flat? You don't find that exorbitant?
Not considering I'm using it as office premises. You can't get furnished office premises for much less.
Oh, I'm sure you can, Mrs. Heppel.
Not in central Fulchester. We checked the prices. And then there were the expenses involved in renovating the flat.
Ah, yes. Oh, tell us about these renovations.
Well, when I moved in, the place was in bad condition, run down. Dr. Napier had it completely redecorated and put in some new furniture.
And something else, which was new, was also put in, was it not, in September 1973?
The new entrance, you mean?
A separate private entrance to the basement flat which had not been there before.
Yes.
Now, what, pray, would be the purpose of that?
Well, obviously it was more convenient for the clients not to have to go in and out of the front door of the house.
Obviously more convenient and more confidential. Well, Dr. Napier certainly went out of his way to put the basement flat in good order for you to carry on your little business, and you've been paying him to the tune of £50 a week ever since. And what's more, paying your own way when you go out together. Oh, no wonder he's such a friendly landlord. You're a very lucrative tenant, Mrs. Heppel. You provide him with the bulk of his income.
You wish to re-examine, Miss Tate?
No, my lord. Perhaps there is something you'd like to ask the witness?
Yes, there is. Mrs. Heppel, you have told us that at the age of 20 you have already had a marriage which lasted only 6 months and ended very abruptly and no doubt very unhappily.
Yes.
You have also told us that you would rather have sex with a stranger than get involved in some relationship which might end in disaster. Have you experienced more than the one such relationship?
Yes, 2.
2. So, would you say perhaps that you feel a certain bitterness towards men?
Yes, I suppose so.
Feel you want to get your own back on men, to get out of them all that you can?
Yes. Yes, I hate them. I hate the lot of them.
Thank you, Mrs. Heppel. You may leave the witness box.
I call the defendant, Dr. Paul Napier.
What is your religion?
I'm agnostic, I'll affirm.
Please read aloud the words on this card.
I, Paul Napier, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Paul Alexander Napier, and you live at number 36 Motcombe Road, Fulchester.
Yes?
Dr. Napier, do you live alone in the ground floor flat at that address?
Yes, I do.
Who owns the house?
I do.
How long have you lived there?
15 years.
How old are you?
I'm 45.
Are you married?
No, I'm divorced.
Is it right that you formerly occupied the whole house with your wife and 2 children?
Yes.
When did your wife and children leave?
In December 1967.
And you were later divorced?
Yes.
What is your occupation?
I have none.
You're not employed?
No.
Do you not practice as a doctor?
No, I was struck off by the General Medical Council.
When did that take place?
In November 1967.
I must ask you to tell the court why you were struck off by the Medical Council.
For unprofessional conduct with a female patient.
The case of the Queen against Napier will be concluded tomorrow in the Crown Court. As the trial of the Queen against Napier enters its final day, the defendant returns to the witness box. Dr. Paul Napier is charged with living wholly or in part on the earnings of a prostitute. In a surprising move on the part of the defense, Napier volunteered the information that he was struck off the medical register 7 years ago for unprofessional conduct with a woman patient.
Dr. Napier, at that time in November 1967, when the findings of the British Medical Council went against you, was there considerable publicity about the case?
Yes.
In both the national press and the Fulchester papers?
Yes.
Did your photograph appear in the newspapers?
Yes.
More than once?
Several times.
So there might well be people in court, perhaps even members of the jury, who recognize you and remember what happened.
It's possible.
Well, if such is the case, I'm sure that those members of the jury who do remember will not allow it to prejudice them or influence them in this particular case.
State, you can safely leave it to me to instruct the jury.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I feel that I must draw attention to the fact that I have introduced my client's past history. Had I not done so, it would have been inadmissible evidence.
Yeah.
It would never have been alluded to.
No.
But for those members of the jury who may have remembered, it would have been in the back of their minds, hanging over them like a cloud.
Yes.
I'm trying to clear the air, my lord.
Let's get on.
Dr. Napier, what was your reaction when you were struck off on the grounds of misconduct with a woman patient?
I was stunned and very angry.
And what did you do about it?
I appealed.
To the Medical Council?
Yes.
With what result?
With no result.
Well, what did you do then?
Well, I tried to bring an action against them.
You tried to bring a civil action in the courts against the Medical Council.
Yes.
To do what?
Well, to prevent them from taking away my livelihood.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that I had been convicted without having had a trial, only a hearing before a panel which is not a court of law, that I had been convicted on the evidence of the lady in question and one other witness who was a friend of hers.
And you felt that this evidence would not stand up in a court of law?
I was sure it wouldn't.
So what happened?
I couldn't bring an action.
You had no redress at law?
No, nothing could be done.
With the result that you were struck off the medical register and consequently unable to practice as a doctor in this country or in any other country, is that so?
Yes.
What effect did this have on your family?
Well, it finished us as a family. My wife was so upset and shocked by the scandal that she took the children to live with their grandparents, our parents in Derbyshire.
To live permanently?
Yes, and a few months later she started divorce proceedings.
Your wife did not stand by you in this crisis in your life. I said your wife did not stand by you.
No.
Dr. Napier, when about 7 years ago you were struck off, what were your circumstances?
My circumstances were that the only thing I had left in the world at the age of 38 was the house.
That's a house in Motcombe Road, which you owned and where you still live?
Yes.
What means of support did you have?
Well, I converted the house into 4 flats and let off 3 of them.
And the rent from those flats has been your sole income?
Yes.
Well, now that we've established the manner by which you support yourself and why, we come to the question of your relationship with the present tenant of the basement flat. That's Mrs. Mary Heppel, the last witness. How long have you known her?
18 months.
And that was since she and her husband first took the flat?
Yes, Alan Heppel. They'd only recently been married.
How old were they?
He was 21 and she was 18 at that time.
And what was Alan Heppel's occupation?
He was a musician, played various wind instruments in a group.
Did they take a lease on the flat?
No, not a lease, no, only a weekly rental, either side to give a month's notice.
Was it furnished?
Yes.
How did Alan Heppel's tenancy continue?
Well, after they'd been there about 6 months, Mrs. Heppel, came to see me one day. She was in a very distraught state. She told me she hadn't seen Alan for 5 days. And she just heard that he'd gone off to London with a friend.
Without letting her know? Or leaving any message?
Apparently. But she told me that she didn't think he was coming back, and she asked me if I would let her stay on in the flat on her own and that she would be responsible for the rent.
So Mrs. Heppel stayed on at the flat after her husband deserted her?
Yes.
And now, will you please tell us when and how she set up as an astrologist, using one of the rooms of the flat as an office?
Well, it was some months later, after the baby was born. Mrs. Heppel came to see me, and she told me that she had some training in astrology. She felt that she had a flair for it, and she wanted to have a try, you see, doing it professionally. So she asked me if I would have any objections to her using the flat as an office.
And what was your reaction?
Well, not very favorable at first.
Why not?
Well, I didn't like the idea of people traipsing in and out of the front door of the house, and I didn't think the tenants upstairs would like it very much either. But then we had the idea of putting in a separate entrance to the basement flat, something which I'd often thought of doing. So having thought it over for a week or so, I agreed.
Was there anything else that persuaded you to agree?
Anything else?
Well, the question of the rent.
Oh, yes. Mrs. Heppel had said that she was prepared to pay a considerably higher rent for using the flat as an office.
And what was the new rent to be?
Well, we discussed it several times, and we decided on a figure of £50 a week.
£50 instead of £11? That's a pretty hefty jump.
Yes, it is. But you must take into account the structural alterations to the flat and the cost of redecorating it, which badly needed doing. It hadn't been done for years. And, of course, the fact that it was to be for professional use, not just residential.
Who picked the figure of £50? You or Mrs. Heppel?
We mutually agreed it.
You didn't demand the rent as a condition of allowing the flat to be used for that purpose?
Absolutely not.
Dr. Napier, am I right in saying that in the ensuing months Mrs. Heppel has had considerable success in this new venture as an astrologist and has had substantial earnings commensurate with the paying of the increased rent of £50 a week?
So I understand.
Have you ever at any time in those months had cause to believe that her earnings were from anything other than astrology?
No, never.
But you were informed to the contrary. When you learned from the police about the allegations against Mrs. Heppel with regard to using the flat for the purposes of prostitution, what did you do?
I didn't do anything, my lord. I just couldn't take it seriously.
Did you say as much to the officer in charge of the case, Detective Sergeant McCovey?
Yes, my lord.
In all the time you've known Mrs. Heppel, have you ever observed anything that might indicate to you that she was working as a prostitute?
No.
In the year or so since that her husband deserted her, you've known her quite well.
Yes, quite well.
From what you know of her, do you find it conceivable that she is or ever has been a prostitute?
Oh, utterly inconceivable.
Thank you, Dr. Napier.
Dr. Napier, although you were struck off the medical register a number of years ago, you still call yourself doctor, do you?
I am a doctor.
Well, you cannot perform the functions of a doctor. Why continue to use the title?
I spent 7 years of my life training and qualifying and a further 11 years practicing medicine. What am I, if not a doctor?
Well, that's a moot point. Now, you say that since you were struck off the medical register, you've had no other employment.
Yes?
I take it you're able-bodied and in reasonably good health.
Yes?
And yet you haven't done a stroke of work in, what, 7 years? Well,
I've already said that.
been leading a life of leisure, haven't you?
Leisure? Having your profession taken away from you, I wouldn't call that a life of leisure.
Wouldn't you? You've just been living off the rents from your property, haven't you? Sounds pretty leisured to me.
Call it what you like. I had no choice.
No, you would sooner be still practicing medicine, which you have been forbidden to do since November 1967. Now, will you tell the court who delivered Mrs. Heppel's baby a year ago? I'm asking you, who delivered Mary Heppel's baby?
I did.
Now, will you please explain how it was that you, a doctor who had been struck off, attended this young woman, delivered her baby?
It was an emergency.
Really? What sort of emergency?
It happened unexpectedly. The baby was 3 weeks premature. It was in the middle of the night, about 4 a.m. I had to act quickly.
What were you doing in her flat at 4 a.m.?
I wasn't in the flat. She telephoned me.
Oh, she telephoned you at 4 a.m. You came running down the stairs, did you?
Yes, I did. I came running down the stairs. And she told me she was in labor. She felt the baby was going to be born at any minute. While I was examining her, the waters began to break.
Why didn't you at once phone for a doctor?
Of course I telephoned for a doctor. By the time I got through to one, the baby's head had appeared. And after that, it only required some encouragement from me and then basic hygiene.
It was highly unethical of you not to have waited, was it?
Waited? And put the mother and child at risk. The doctor didn't arrive till half an hour after the baby was born.
The fact remains that as a doctor who had been struck off, you should not have examined Mrs.
Look,
Heppel.
any midwife can deliver a baby. Any policeman can. What do you think I am? A leper? Good God, man, do you think if someone here in this court today collapsed with a heart attack or a serious injury, do you think I wouldn't be called on to do what I could? Or do you think that the person whose life was at stake would give a damn whether I was struck off the bloody medical council?
Yes, Mr. Lotterby, I think we'll adjourn for lunch now.
All stand.
Apart from delivering her baby, have you ever had any other intimate physical contact with Mary Heppel?
No.
You've never had sex with her?
Mrs. Heppel has already testified here in
Never mind
court.
what Mrs. Heppel has testified. I'm asking you if anything of a sexual nature has taken place between you.
No.
Ever kissed her?
Kissed her? Well, I've kissed her goodnight a couple of times, if that's what you mean.
Have you ever kissed any of your other tenants goodnight?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Well, I'm sorry you think it ridiculous, Doctor, but I must ask you to answer the question.
No, I have never kissed any of the other tenants goodnight.
Thank you. But then, of course, Mary, you do call her Mary, do you?
Yes?
Mary is a very special tenant, isn't she? Not only does she provide you with, by far, the major part of your income, but she also gives you companionship from time to time.
Yes.
Now, Mary described your relationship as being on friendly terms. You've described it as knowing each other quite well. But I'm wondering, Dr. Napier, if there isn't something much deeper between you. Would I be right?
No.
Are you quite sure? I mean, think how much you have in common. It's really quite remarkable, considering the great difference in your ages. I mean, there's your mutual interest in music. You've encouraged her towards classical music, I believe.
Yes, I have.
I'm wondering just how much influence you, a man of 45, have exerted over this young woman just 20. I mean, she was certainly at a very vulnerable stage of her life when she was left deserted and pregnant on your doorstep.
I have exerted no influence over her.
There's something else you have in common, isn't there? Your bitterness. Now, Mrs. Heppel hates men, doesn't she? She spat it out when she was giving evidence.
Yes, she's bitter about some things, yes.
And your bitterness, well, that's had 7 years to fester, hasn't it? Bitterness against the woman who you claim gave the false evidence which ruined you, against your wife, and above all, against the law. How you must hate the law. What contempt you must have for it.
I do not have contempt for the law.
You were the two of you thrown together, drawn to each other by your shared anger at the world, both loners.
Well, I've never seen myself as a loner.
Haven't you? Have you got many friends, Dr. Napier? Do you have much of a social life?
I have 1 or 2 friends, but most of them have dropped me, yes.
A recluse, almost, until this young woman came on the scene, and your association began. On friendly terms, know each other quite well. No, I suggest there is a strange and powerful bond between you which the court has heard nothing about. You say nothing, Doctor?
Dr. Napier, the jury may take your silence as an admission that what learned counsel suggests is true.
No, my lord, it's not true. There is no bond between us.
Dr. Napier, not only is there a bond between you, but there has also been a conspiracy between you. A conspiracy to convert the basement flat into what one witness described as a little gold mine. And to use Mary Heppel's attractiveness and complete lack of scruples and morals about sex to produce a fast turnover and fat profits.
No, that's not...
To flout the law by the clever rigmarole of giving astrology readings.
You're distorting it all.
It is only too clear that the main business being conducted in that basement flat was prostitution.
That's a lie. Everything you've said's a lie.
Silent! Mrs. Heppel, if you cannot remain silent, you will be removed from the court at once.
The police came to see you, not once, but several times during a 6-week period, did they not?
Yes.
They said that they had reason to believe from their own observations that the basement flat was being used for prostitution. And you said you adamantly refused to believe it.
Yes.
But didn't you ever, during that 6-week period, Doctor, didn't you ever talk to Mrs. Heppel about it? Did you tell her what was being said? Did you ask her if there was any truth in it?
Yes, I did.
And what did she say?
She said that in a way it was true.
She said what, Doctor?
She said that in a way it was true because she was using her looks to get money out of men. Well, I asked her if she ever took money for sex, and she said no, that she didn't. That she didn't need to. That men were...
Yes?
That men were suckers.
Men were suckers?
Yes, and that they would pay her the money whether they got it or not. And she told me she'd give it all up if I wanted her to, if it was causing too much trouble.
What was your response?
I told her, my lord, that if she wasn't in fact taking money for sex, then she wasn't a prostitute. And she had nothing to worry about.
Or to be more accurate, did you not say, as long as you're careful to tell the suckers that the money is not for intercourse but for the horoscope, get them to sign the receipts, we're in the clear?
That is not what I said.
Well, we'll leave that to the jury to decide. Now, there's just one more matter I want to speak to you about, your personal finances. Now, it's apparent that from 1968 until the latter part of 1973, your rent book shows an income from the 3 flats of between £24 and £28 a week. Is that correct?
Yes.
But then suddenly, towards the end of 1973, things took a turn for the better, didn't they? Without any great exertion from yourself, without your having to stoop to the indignity of taking a job, your income shot up from £28 a week to £67 a week. Now, that's a big difference, isn't it? I'd say you were doing very nicely, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, Dr. Napier?
Yes.
And of that £67 a week, £50 was coming from the earnings of Miss Virgo, your little astrologer in the basement. I've no further questions.
Wish to re-examine, Miss Tate?
Yes, my lord. Was there ever any plan or plot or conspiracy between you to make money out of prostitution using the trappings of astrology as a protective cover?
No, never.
Do you believe that any of Mrs. Heppel's earnings have come from prostitution?
No.
Thank you, Dr. Napier.
You may return to the dock.
That is the case for the defense, my lord.
Members of the jury, the accused, Paul Alexander Napier, faces a charge under Section 30 of the Sexual Offences Act, 1956, namely of living wholly or in part on the earnings of a prostitute. Now, I must instruct you in three unusual aspects of this case. Point one, it may not have escaped your attention that a large part of the prosecution's case appeared to be directed against someone other than the defendant. Indeed, there was a time when it appeared that someone else was on trial here and not Dr. Napier. Now, the reason for this is that it is essential for the prosecution to establish that that person in question, namely Mary Heppel, was at the material time a prostitute. If they fail to establish this, then the case against the defendant collapses, because no matter how much money he had from her, no matter how much influence he may have exercised over her, he is not guilty of the offence with which he is charged. Now, point two, you might well ask yourself then, why was not Mary Heppel's guilt or innocence re prostitution decided at some earlier trial? The answer is that no charge could be brought against her. Prostitution, per se, is not an offence at law. Only certain fringe activities connected with prostitution are offences. If this appears an anomaly, I'm sorry, that is the law. Point three concerns the burden of proof. Now, it is a cornerstone of our system of justice that the burden of proof lies with the prosecution, and that a man is innocent until he is proven guilty to a jury's entire satisfaction. There are one or two rare exceptions to this premise, and one of those exceptions concerns the case before you. And I refer you once again to Section 30 of the Sexual Offences Act, 1956. A man who lives with or is habitually in the company of a prostitute, or who exercises control over a prostitute's movements in a way which shows that he is aiding, abetting, or compelling her prostitution with others, shall be presumed to be knowingly living on the earnings of prostitution unless he proves to the contrary. So that means, in this case, that if you are entirely satisfied that Mary Heppel was at the time a prostitute, and that Dr. Napier was habitually with her, doesn't mean with her all the time, means frequently with her, and that he was aiding and abetting her in any way, such as putting a separate entrance in the basement flat, then the onus is on the defendant to prove on the balance of probabilities that he wasn't knowingly living on the earnings of prostitution. So, the question you have to answer, since everything else is contingent upon it, was Mary Heppel using the basement flat in Dr. Napier's house for the purposes of prostitution? Two witnesses for the prosecution, Detective Sergeant McCovey and Mr. Vernon Cox, have testified that when they called on Mrs. Heppel, they received perfectly genuine astrology readings, but that on payment of further monies, intercourse appeared to be available, though only one of the witnesses, Mr. Cox, has actually said that he availed himself of these facilities. Now, Mrs. Heppel has admitted having sex with a stranger, the right stranger, by which one infers she means someone who attracts her, someone who appeals to her. Now, this, you might think, distinguishes her from the normal picture of a prostitute as someone who sells herself indiscriminately for money, regardless of any satisfaction to herself. But the law says a prostitute is someone who sells herself sexually for money. Mrs. Heppel, whilst admitting having sex with some of her clients, has denied that she was paid for it, and she has ample documentary evidence to back her up. She returned a very comprehensive income tax form, and she has these printed forms, these receipts from the client, signed by the client, saying that the money they paid to her was for astrology alone. And the one witness who said that he had sex with her indeed signed one of these receipts. How much importance should you attach to these receipts? That is for you to decide. My only advice is, if you think they were tendered in bad faith, so to speak, with a wink, then you should ignore those receipts. You now please retire and consider your verdict.
All stand. Prisoner will stand. Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict upon which you are all agreed?
Yes.
Do you find the defendant Paul Alexander Napier guilty or not guilty of living wholly or in part on the earnings of a prostitute?
Not guilty.
Mr. Napier, you are discharged and free to leave the court.
Court will rise.
Join us again when our cameras return to bring you another leading case from the Crown Court.